We're back. This is Knockout. And you're in the ring with Greg Peterson. Today, in this webisode, we're going to talk about the midterm elections, the National Jackass Politician Award, which was fascinating. You guys voted. Thousands of page views on my blog. We had a winner in the election. It was Congressman Jim Matheson right here in Utah
Jim Matheson
for ignoring his constituency. You know, the whole election cycle, you know how many public meetings he's had? Town hall meetings, healthcare, the whole year. You know how many he's had?
Just that one with Matera in D.C.?
0. He got chased down on the street by Matera. It's his idea of a town hall meeting, I guess. But, you know, it's really interesting. I guess he doesn't understand that he's our employee and we're his boss, so it's not really his place to tell us that he won't meet with us. He refuses to hold a town hall meeting at all. He voted to raise the debt ceiling many, many times. He's been in office for 10 years.
Voted with Pelosi 93% of the time.
Yeah, he's claiming to be a fiscal conservative, but he voted for the porkulus package. I refuse to call it a stimulus package. It was a porkulus, porkity giveaway. The stimulus package was a $1 trillion waste. And, you know, he's picking up. The race was officially moved from leans likely Democratic to leans Democratic. Did you see that on RealClearPolitics.com? They moved it today.
Really?
Because of the daily tracking polls been picking up. Morgan Philpott, watch him in Utah's 2nd District. He's closing the gap. So he's a little late, but, you know, we got 2 weeks left. It's 15th of October here.
Greg, are you a Philpott fan?
And, you know, it took me a while on Philpott. I'm not going to lie. You know, the term limits there, he was a little hesitant, but I came around, and I will be voting for Philpott. Absolutely. I hung up some signs. And
we are both Philpott fans.
We'll be voting for to throw out our local Democrat here in Utah's 2nd District. I wanted to talk about Jerry Brown in California. You know, he accidentally recorded himself. This is great. I mean, accidentally recorded himself on somebody else's answering machine. Thought that he hung up, you know. He accidentally called her a whore. Okay, well, it was his campaign aide, but the thing is, his campaign aide, I agree, called her a whore. And then he said, yeah, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that in the context of an ad. He said that. He was actually talking about and considering using the pejorative term, you know, calling her a whore, in an ad. And then the very next day, the National Organization for Women endorses who? Jerry Brown, right? Instead of the most successful female CEO in history. That's just amazing. I mean,
talk about the reasons why.
Yeah. Oh, you tell me. What do you think the National Organization for Women they slighted the woman who's one of the most accomplished, probably the most accomplished female CEO in history? I would say Meg Whitman. I know her. She's a friend. We dialed for dollars at National Call Day in Boston. Shout out to you. How you doing, Meg? Love you. Call me.
Oh.
But she's a great person. She's fantastic. We want people like this to get into politics, don't we?
Definitely.
What do you think?
Jobs.
What do you think about the Now endorsement the day after the calling of the whore? Oh, and then the California president of Now called her a political whore after saying that the word whore was unacceptable and anyone who uses it should be fired.
So what do I think about that?
Yeah.
Well, I think they don't really give a about women. They're just about
politically motivated.
They're just about what gets them more political control over.
Yeah.
Over the pot.
So who do you think's going to win that one? Have you been watching the polls on Real Clear Politics or Politico? You know, it's been a tight race, but what do you think about that nanny coming out as an illegal? Even though she went through an employment agency, Meg Whitman looks like a saint, and Gloria Allred outed her. I think she comes out looking squeaky clean, and Jerry Brown looks like, and Gloria Allred look like the schmucks for outing their own illegal who fraudulently deceived.
Gloria Allred is an idiot.
I will agree with you on that. Touché, sir. Well said. Well said. And I think
Sue me.
I think she comes out. I think she pulls this off. What do you in California? What do you think?
Oh yeah, makes the favorite in my book.
She's the shiz. She's the real deal too, Meg. We love you. Most successful female CEO of all time. eBay, that's a little company. They do auctions. They dominate their marketplace. Created billions of dollars of wealth for other people, and $1 billion herself at least. Great person too. Stand-up person. Outstanding mother, outstanding wife, outstanding professional. The kind of person who we actually would like to get into leadership and into politics. So the last topic is Harry Reid of Nevada. Don't we all love Harry Reid? The guy has got a lot of money. He's got Sharon Angle, who's a fairly weak, seems like a weak competitor. I mean, she should be winning. What's going on? You think she can pull this off?
This is a race I haven't followed too closely, so you'll probably have to.
Well,
here we go.
They're basically tied in the polls. I mean, Harry Reid and Sharon Angle, who was the Tea Party candidate. She beat out all the establishment Republicans who were maybe a little bit more well-known and maybe better fundraisers in the state. So it's amazing to me, though.
Real Clear Politics says that Reid and Angle are pretty much neck to neck.
Neck and neck, they're tied. That's going to be a tasty one right there, though. I tell you, if you can chop off the head of the snake. I mean, if you can beat the most powerful Democrat in the Senate, wouldn't that send shockwaves?
Oh, he hung himself. He was going for the historical bill. Have you noticed that phrase, how many times they use that? This is a historical bill. It showed just how self-centered their whole motivation was for passing the Medicare.
Yeah.
And,
they're going to make history outright.
The biggest Republican sweep in, at least the Democratic sweep out of office in history. They swept themselves out of office.
That's true. Instead of 1994, guys, I tell you, I think this election looks a lot more like 1894. If you don't know your history, go look it up. But 1894, the Republicans picked up about 100 seats in the House. 1994, they picked up, 50 or so. I think right around 50 seats. Check my math. It might be a little more or a little less than that. But 1894 was much bigger. There was a prolonged economic depression. Sound familiar? High unemployment. Sound familiar? Dissatisfaction with the ruling party, and they threw them out. 100 of them. Threw them out. So I'm going to go on record. I'm going to say 60 to 70. The Republicans pick up 60 to 70 seats in the House, and they probably squeak by the Senate and get either 50 or 51 seats in the Senate because Boxer's in trouble in California. Barbara Boxer's in trouble.
She should have been gone 10 years ago.
Yeah, but the people of California are not that bright, though. I mean, look what they vote for. Sorry, California, but look what they vote for. You know what I mean?
True.
Progressive Republicans and progressive Democrats and a legislature that can't balance
unions.
Well, Sacramento, they can't balance a budget. They just don't know how to balance a checkbook in California. So all the leaves are brown.
It's because they have mandatory Spanish instead of mandatory.
And the sky is gray. And the sky is gray. California dreaming, you know what I'm saying?
California dreaming. Here you go.
It's a pipe dream down there. Balance
Boxer
a budget.
48.
How about that, California?
Fiorina.
Balance a budget. Try
Fiorina.
it. Just try it.
Fiorina.
I'm just saying.
44.7.
Oh, yeah? So it's pretty close. So wrapping things up here, a final prediction for the House. I'm saying Republicans pick up 60 to 70, and John Boehner is the new Speaker of the House. It's supposed to be Boehner, but I can't bring myself to say it. There's an O in there. John Boehner for Speaker from Ohio. It says B-O-E. That's how you spell it. I'm not making this up. Look it up. It's John Boehner. I want to say Boehner like everybody else. Can't do it. There's an O in there, folks. Don't forget that O. I wanna rock. I want to rock. Come on. Supposed to say rock. Rock, 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 rock. I want to rock. Okay. This is gonna be a fun episode. That's all I'm saying.
So,
did we cover it? Okay. What do you want to say? Morgan Philpott? Well, I don't endorse candidates on the show, but I'm not going to.
We're just analyzing the two here, compare and contrast.
Well, Matheson has won for 10 years in a Republican district. It's rated R plus 15. If you don't know what that means, it means the Republicans have a 15-point registration advantage in the district. It should be a Republican district. Voted for Bush and McCain. There's just no reason that we have a Democrat. But I think he's very good at lying and hiding from his constituents. I think that's what he does. He says that he's a conservative, and people buy it. His daddy was governor. That's a big one. His daddy was governor. And you know how I feel about political dynasties, guys, right?
He's been set up
sons of politicians.
And, unions for years.
Yep, the only thing worse than a career politician is the career politician who's a son of a career politician. Right?
Really bad.
Son of a. And I don't have any place in my heart for those guys. So I say Philpott can pull it off. You know, he got moved from likely Dem to leans Democratic. So Real Clear Politics is moving him in the right direction. He's just raised a lot of funds. He got a big endorsement from Sarah Palin this week. You saw that. And it's gonna help. And Jim Matheson won the Jackass Politician Award.
Congratulations.
He had to beat some pretty good competition, though. He beat Governor Jerry Brown, who was governor 30 years ago and is running for governor again. I guess the fresh new face and the fresh new ideas on the Democratic Party, right? From the governor from 1975. I'm serious. Wow. Yeah, he's like 80, octogenarian. And then, I think from here we go to toss-up. You go from likely Democratic to leans Democratic to toss-up. And if it goes into the toss-up column, that means it's too close to call. And Morgan Philpott I'm hearing ads every day on the largest radio station and TV station in the state, so he is running the ads. He is getting his name ID up.
Do you know why? Here's the main reason why I'm not going to vote for Jim Matheson.
Why is that?
Because the douchebag is wearing a denim shirt in 2010.
Who does that?
Who wears a douchebag denim shirt in 2010?
Douchebag denim. I actually think that's a color. Douchebag denim, like you could have that as a color, as a shade of denim.
Go to MathesonForCongress.com and look at douchebag denim.
Yeah, not only that, I will say one other thing about Jim Matheson. Okay, it's not a flattering thing, but I will say one more thing about my dearly beloved Jim Matheson. They chased him down on the street the other day. Was this Matera who did this?
Boy, Matera.
Chased him down on the street. This thing's got 10,000 views on YouTube already, and it just got posted yesterday. So he chases him down in Washington on the street and asks him just a simple question about PACs. Call him the Pac-Man here. The Salt Lake Tribune calls him Pac-Man, as in Political Action Committee, because he takes 84% of his money. Tyler, get this. 84% of his money.
Put that in perspective. Normal candidates usually have what, like 48?
Yeah. 84% of his money comes from political action committees. His own fundraising in his own district is dry. There's nobody in his own district is contributing to him. So his bankroll, his money is coming from Wrangell in New York was a big contributor. Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, they're contributing to this guy directly. Their political action committees are funding him. Utah has a Democrat in its congressional. Really?
It's the Pac-Man theme.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what that was. It's like, can you tell me what that is? Oh, yeah. That's great. That was Pac-Man. Keep that in the shot. That's great.
This is for you.
He is the Pac-Man, folks. 84% of his contributions do not come from his own residents. They just come from PACs. And the other 16% does not all come from his district. That comes from individuals. So very, very small sliver of his fundraising comes from his own people. So Jim Matheson, public appearance, please.
Do you know who Jim Matheson really needs to start calling?
Who?
Is all of his labor union guys and
his need a job.
Energy execs.
He's
fired next month. He's going to need a job.
I love it. He's going to need a job. So that is all for Knockout, for this episode of Knockout. Thank you for coming. Stick around for the next webisode. Thanks, guys. Love you.